Welcome to Mobile Home Friend YouTube channel, your go-to resource for everything manufactured housing.
Welcome to another deep dive from Mobile Home Friend. Today we are looking at a really common question, adding a second story to a mobile home. And we're going to give you the cold, hard truth, based on our latest research over at mobilehomefriend.com.
All right, so let's just dive right in. I'm sure a lot of you have thought about this. You love your spot, you love your home, but man, you are just running out of room. And building up seems like the perfect answer, right? You get a whole new bedroom or office without sacrificing a single inch of your yard. It really seems like a total no-brainer. Okay, I'm just gonna rip the Band-Aid off. The short and brutally honest answer is no. You absolutely cannot safely or legally just add a second floor on top of your existing mobile home. I know, that's probably not what you wanted to hear, but stick with me for a minute. We're about to break down exactly why this dream project is, unfortunately, a complete non-starter.
And the first reason, the biggest reason really, is that it's an absolute engineering nightmare. This isn't just about building codes or tricky construction, this is about the fundamental laws of physics. The way these homes are designed, it's basically impossible.
So here's a little engineering 101 for you. Every single building has to support two kinds of weight. First, you've got what's called the dead load. That's the constant weight of the building itself. The lumber, the drywall, the roof, you name it. Then you've got the live load, and that's all the stuff that changes. You, me, our furniture, even a heavy pile of snow on the roof. The key thing to understand is that a manufactured home is precision engineered to handle its original dead and live loads and not an ounce more.
Yeah, and this right here is the heart of the matter. You see, a site-built house is often over-engineered, but a manufactured home is an incredibly efficient, integrated system. The walls, the floor, the roof, and that big steel chassis underneath, they're all designed to work together in perfect harmony to support only the original single-story structure. There's no extra capacity built in.
We came across this quote in our research, and it is the perfect analogy. Trying to put a second story on a mobile home is like trying to use a ladder as a bridge. Could you lay it across a small gap? Maybe, but the second you put any real weight on it, well, you know exactly what's going to happen. It's simply the wrong tool for the job. And the result isn't just a few cracks in the drywall. We are talking about catastrophic failure. The walls will literally start to buckle, the steel frame will bend, and you are looking at a very real possibility of a total collapse. It's incredibly, incredibly dangerous. All right, so let's just pretend for a second that you could somehow defy the laws of physics. You'd still run smack into a giant brick wall called the HUD code. And this is where the project shifts from being physically dangerous to becoming a legal and financial trap you can't escape. So, any manufactured home built after 1976 has to, by law, meet the federal HUD code. This isn't a suggestion. It's a super strict standard that covers everything. I mean everything, from the home's structural load requirements to its energy efficiency. It's basically the home's birth certificate, and it's what makes it a legal, insurable dwelling. And here is the absolute deal breaker. The second you make a major structural change, and believe me, ripping off the roof to add a second story qualifies, you permanently void the home's HUD certification. It's gone, forever. There's no getting it back. That little metal plate on the back of your home becomes completely meaningless. And when that happens, you've accidentally created what our article calls a zombie property. And I think that term is just perfect. The structure is still standing, but from a legal and financial perspective, it's dead. It exists in this awful limbo, where it's no longer a house in the eyes of the law, banks, or insurance companies. So what does owning a zombie property actually mean for you? Well, first off, good luck getting homeowners insurance. No one will touch it. And forget about selling it with a traditional mortgage. A bank will not finance a property without a valid HUD certification. This means your only potential buyers are cash investors looking for a teardown, and your home's value just falls through the floor. Okay, so I know that was a lot of doom and gloom. Building up is clearly a terrible idea, but that does not mean you're stuck without options. There's a much, much smarter way to get that extra space you're dreaming of. It's time to stop thinking vertically and start thinking horizontally. It's time to build out, not up. Now, you might hear about some complicated workarounds, like building a totally separate, independent structure over the top of the mobile home. And while that's technically possible, it's a bureaucratic nightmare to get permitted, and it just creates a host of other problems. The simpler, safer, and far superior solution is a good old-fashioned horizontal addition. And, there are a couple of hidden costs to building up that people almost never consider. First, the enormous risk of water damage. To do this, you have to tear the roof off your home, leaving everything you own exposed to the elements. One bad thunderstorm, and you're ruined. And second, a staircase. A proper staircase eats up a huge chunk of your floor space. We're talking 30 or 40 square feet on the first floor and the new second floor. You end up losing a ton of space just to gain some. And if you're not convinced, just look at the numbers. This chart really lays bare the financial insanity of trying to go vertical. A direct addition is off the table. It's just too dangerous. That crazy overbuild option costs an absolute fortune. But a standard, professionally built horizontal addition, it's so much more affordable and feasible. It is, without a doubt, the recommended path. And hey, if you want the full technical breakdown of these costs, go check out the post on mobilehomefriend.com. The benefits of building out are they're a slam dunk. Your new addition sits on its own foundation, so it puts zero extra stress on your home structure. Getting permits is 1,000 times easier because it's a standard construction project. And most importantly, it protects your home's vital HUD certification and can actually increase your property value. It's a win-win. So, you're convinced. Building out is the way to go. But before you call a single contractor, you've got to do your homework. And we've put together a little pre-project checklist to make sure you start off on the right foot. As we noted on the Mobile Home Friend website, this checklist is absolutely crucial. Think of it as a go/no-go list. You have to start by talking to a structural engineer. Then check your local zoning laws and call your insurance agent to see what's possible. After that, you've got to inspect your foundation, figure out the logistics for your utilities, and honestly calculate your return on investment. If you get a hard no on even one of these steps, you have to pump the brakes. So, let's wrap this all up. The final verdict is crystal clear. Trying to build up is a triple threat disaster. It's structurally dangerous, legally impossible, and financially ruinous. Building out is the smart, safe, and frankly, profitable solution to getting the space you need.
And that really brings us to the final question you have to ask yourself. Is that dream of a second story really worth risking the safety, legality, and financial value of the entire home you already have, especially when a much better option is right there for the taking?
Thanks so much for watching. For more guides and the full in-depth article on this topic, head on over to mobilehomefriend.com. And don't forget to check out the links in the description below.
Thanks for watching. For more technical guides on this topic, click the link to see the in-depth article over at mobilehomefriend.com. There are many more informational dives into manufactured home topics to investigate and keep your project moving forward.